What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. Joe Rogan is a world famous podcaster. We all know his background, probably the best podcast or most notable podcast in the world, called The Joe Rogan Experience. And of course, there was a conversation about Andrew Tate. Now, of course, Andrew Tate, I've talked about him here on this show, comparing him to the late, great Kevin Samuels. And the thing that's a little bit different with Andrew Tate, obviously he's a younger man, and he has a much different background than Kevin. Them saying the same things, but Andrew Tate, in many cases, more direct and more blunt. All right. And when asked about it, Joe Rogan felt like, well, he possibly would have him on the show one day, but that he messed up by saying certain misogynist things. Now, obviously, there were some people who felt like he should not have been deplatformed. And Rogan said, if he would have stuck to pro male and pro accountability and stuff like that, then, he wouldn't have been, deplatformed. But if you really think about it, and I would even say this about Kevin Samuels, if there wasn't interactions with women or talking about women, these guys wouldn't have gotten so popular. But now let me talk about the rest of the world. Okay. And, trying to put guys into this, toxic masculinity thing and all this other stuff, especially when at the same time you're allowing women to say whatever they want to say about men. Fine, right? Misandry is okay. Misogyny is not. Got it. What about the rest of the world? And they make a very interesting point. Russia is making men more masculine. China is making men more masculine. And what you're seeing is the United States or the Western world trying to make men less masculine and wanting to shape their environments because their environments must defer to the opinions of women. Now, can we do that without being particularly offensive to ladies? Sure. Here's the problem. Women usually will always find a reason to find something offensive. Now, clearly, what Andrew Tate can say, I haven't heard all these things, but let's say, for example, it's blatant, outright, offensive to women. I can get that. But anything you can say in today's world can be completely offensive to women. Whereas in other cultures, a lot of times people just tell women the truth. Let me give you an example. Look at Sha'Carri Richardson and how that was handled. With her and her unaccountability, blaming people for her mistakes, blaming people for her lackluster efforts, all of that, right? What do the Jamaicans do? They don't give their ladies a reason to fail. It's unacceptable. Okay? China. In the Western world, you can be a woman. You can, not cook for your man. You can not get married. And if you can't get married, it'll be the guy's fault. In China, if you don't find a man and get married, it's different. Why are you not married? Why are you not beautiful enough? Why are you not valuable enough? And see, the thing about that the Western world doesn't want to do, you want to hold men accountable for everything. And ladies are not being held accountable for anything. Which in turn, in my honest opinion, makes men less interested in doing things for women. That's the problem. When you silence guys like Andrew Tate, these things go underground. And I get that YouTube and Google and Facebook and Instagram, and I get it. You have advertisers, you got to make money. Great. But here's the situation. For some of the things the guy is saying is he's not wrong on. We know that. And the problem is that society has catered so much so that men no longer want to take care of women because men can't shape their environments and hold women accountable to the standards that men want for themselves. Women can have standards. Men can never have standards. So now you have all of these guys going underground. The red pill's going underground. Guys are leaving, literally. I mean, you're talking about it in the black sector. What are guys talking about? Passport bros. We're getting out of here. Where are we going? To societies where women are more feminine. Because in America, it's opposite. Women tend to be a little bit more masculine. Men tend to be a little bit more feminine. But now guys are saying, look, okay, well, you don't want me to be as masculine. Well, I want to be 50-50 now. I want to be taken care of just like you want to be taken care of. Right? And that's the wrong thing. I think where's the medium where men can express themselves with some decency and women can do the same thing also. That's the reality here. When you want men to be men and go out and do things and not have any excuse for why they don't do things, it takes a certain mentality to do it. Like the men who carve the world do it. I mean, you can say what you want. But our country and the things that we have, these were guys that built nations and built societies. Like, go to Dubai, for example. Who will say there's toxic masculinity in Dubai? Nobody. I get what Andrew Tate said is offensive to certain people. I won't even argue because I didn't hear it. I don't know what he said. But now when you look at the United Emirates, clearly somebody can say toxic masculinity for some of their beliefs. But look at the development. Don't you want men to do that? Men have to have an incentive as to why they do things, as to why they build. And it has to be to their standards. You can't say, hey, listen, you need to go out here and take care of women. But you know what? You better not be able to criticize how they act in any format because you're going to get canceled. And by the way, if you say you're going to lose your job. So guys say, well, okay, well, I'm not getting married then. It's cool. Kids, nope. Laws don't favor me at all. Dating, just hook up, hum it up. I mean, I'm uninterested in doing anything that favors family, that favors me, because I don't have any control of that. Why should I do it? Then you get the situation that you have it right now in America, where women and men don't even like each other as much. Nobody's getting married. Then the government is looking at why you're not getting married. Well, for what? For some of these guys. They can't even express themselves in the least bit. I get Andrew Tate may have said something that was completely messed up. Got that. What about the guys who are afraid to say anything now? And that's how some folks want it. Men shouldn't say anything. It will just go underground till the problem is fixed. This is why this guy right now got an offer. Who did he get an offer? Rumble. Rogan shot down a $100 million deal with them, but guess who's going over there? Rumble. You think that folks not going to go over Rumble and check him out? Of course. The problem are not the Andrew Tates. The problems are a society that's creating guys that have to come out and say things like that because it's so bad. What about that? What's so wrong with the system that so many people agree with guys like Andrew Tate, or for better or worse, the late great Kevin Samuels, or the black manosphere, or the white manosphere, or MGTOW? Why do you have guys following that stuff? Because it's there's a lot of truth in what these guys are saying. And the system creates these situations. That's the issue. If you want to keep sweeping it underneath the rug, that's fine. But that problem is still going to be there anyway. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy O'Shea Duke Jackson. Back at it again. Another episode of Celebrity Junk. Appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe, hit the bell. We're out.